All right, back by popular demand. We're looking at another oil tanker company, and this is INSW, the International Seaways Incorporated, brought to you by Brian Lewis of MMT Investing and Rhino Ralph. So let's see what's going on here. So INSW International Seaways, I can't get back far enough to see a long-term kind of high target, but they've been pretty stable around 20-ish, somewhere like that, leading into the crash. And they had a huge spike before the crash, which is interesting, when a lot of companies were coming down into the crash. Okay, so I checked out their company and their balance sheet and all that stuff, and they are headquartered in the US and Delaware, but most of their shipyards are in China, and they claim to be one of the largest shipping tanking companies in the world, and that is not correct. They're not. I mean, one of the largest, like one of the top 10. How many are there? But they don't have like 200 boats or something like that. They have oil and product and natural gas boats, and they have about 50 oil tankers, and about half of those are, or less than half, are the very large, the VLCC. So that's their territory and their boats, kind of medium sized. That's not a tiny fleet, but kind of medium sized fleet, mostly operating out of China. Um, and let's see, and yeah, and their balance sheet always smashes that like button right now to help me out with the YouTube algorithm. So then, if we take a look at what the S&P has been doing during this period, we get here. Okay, so we get the dead cat and the crash on the S&P, and then we get the bull trap on the S&P, and these have sort of trended sideways through the beginning of this, and then they started getting this hype thing, and now they're kind of doing an island top reversal now. The S&P has hit a new high, and this is coming down already. Okay, so that's interesting. But just in general, most of the oil tanker companies are getting an up on the dead cat and then a double up on the bull trap. And this is the same, and this looks like a good one. This looks like a company that's pretty stable. Their balance sheet is, and they have way more assets than liabilities because, I mean, all of the oil industry companies have a huge amount of assets. But their cash balance to debt is slightly behind the debt, but it's almost neutral. And I don't think any of these oil companies are going to be in debt trouble. They're like full capacity, full employment, and it looks like, yeah, it looks like another kind of stable tanker that started out a little bit slower and is picking up. It's not going really hyperbolic, and it didn't pull down at the beginning. So this is kind of a neutral, stable one that looks like a decent long. And then again, I think that we're going to come down off of this bull trap, and I think that the tankers are going to come down with it. And then I think we're going to see another dead cat and another double bull trap kind of move soon, like maybe a couple weeks, and then maybe a month or somewhere in that range for some moves like this. So I'm not buying any tankers this week, and I'm looking for a spot to get into them in a couple weeks or so. And then the tanker companies look like they're like very long term, they're probably not amazing, but I think that they're going to have plenty of business for the next few years, and they should be really good companies to hang on to. Like when we get to the end of this credit contraction cycle and we get a switch into an expansion growth phase, because we're in a credit contraction down cycle here off the top of the everything bubble, and the tankers are only doing good on the up moves during the down cycle. So the credit contraction is still pulling them down when the stock market is getting pulled down, but they're getting really good bounces up when the stock market gets mediocre bounces up. And so they're trending up. Some of them are trending sideways or down, but this is an up one, and it should be a good one here after the end of this cycle, which would be in a month or two. And yeah, okay, I think that's pretty good for this International Seaways. I'll try to dig up a bunch more tanker companies, and then I can do another recap video soon. So please hit the like button. This is not investment advice, and happy trading.